Course and distance winners, Villa too close to the back markers for comfort. And that prompts a change of approach today with the deployment of three centre-backs. Peter Enkelman returning in goal, Joey Gudjohnsen in midfield, and Darius Vassell hoping to carry forward his international form. Arsenal are still without Seaman, Pires and Keown. Cole's only on the bench, so there's a makeshift look to the left side of their defence. However, the metronomic Gilberto is back, so's Henry, scorer of 2 goals when Villa were beaten at Highbury in November. Players from both sides only reconvened yesterday after nearly a fortnight of international duty. Villa tend to play well against the better sides. It's infuriating for their many fans. Dangerous today for Arsenal. Wayward pass from Hitzelsberger to kick off with. Graham Taylor led Aston Villa into the top flight 15 years ago. Now his mind is concentrated very much on keeping them in it. It is, to paraphrase Sir Alex Ferguson, squeeze your derrière time. Henry. Barry. Vassell's found some space. Hadji in the middle, so's Hendry. Needs a good cross. If we're to see a cross at all, it might come from Samuel. Header away by Gilberto. Gudjohnsen. And now Bergkamp trying to build for Arsenal. Easily past Ronnie Johnson. Too easily, really. Hitzelsberger didn't get to him either. And ultimately, Johnson did recover. Best individual moment of the game so far, Bergkamp's mazy run. Continuing the Grand National analogy of the day. There's the chair. Hitzelsberger. Samuel. Hendry left it. Vassell. Back to Lee Hendry. And Campbell's tackle. Most inventive piece of Aston Villa play we've seen. Hitzelsberger, who's celebrating his 21st birthday today, is by the near post. Taylor came and didn't get close to it. And this is Barry, away from Bergkamp. Gareth Barry! Into the Holt end instead of into the net. But it's a statement of positive intent from the home side. But this has been their problem all season. Chances galore, but precious few of them converted. By De La Cruz. There's a lot of telegraph though by Campbell. Possibilities here for Villa with 3 in the middle. Hadji! Buds of promise from Aston Villa. Yet to flower. But there are signs of better things. Gilberto. Something to lift this game above the level of the mundane. Arsenal don't generally do mundane. Bergkamp. If anyone can lift it, he can. Gilberto. Henry. Wall of Villa players. 9 of them to get past. Ljungberg. Diligence from Arsenal. Is there inspiration too? Good handling from Engelman. They're being forced to be very patient by Aston Villa. And Olof Mellberg has got a problem. There's blood coming from a wound on his face. Rather ironic that it should be Freddie Ljungberg that caught him, bearing in mind their history at the World Cup. The two of them clearly didn't get on too well one day at training. But it did end with a handshake. Time whistle may come as something of a relief, because we judge Arsenal by exalted standards. That they failed to meet them is partly down to the wholehearted resistance of Aston Villa. An almost chanceless half. It's goalless at Villa Park at the midway point. Part of the makeup of champions is the ability to chisel out results. Arsenal can't produce pyrotechnics every week, and they haven't done today so far. No changes to either side. And this is Sol Campbell in possession for Arsenal, and now Lauren. Arsenal, whose away form has been patchy of late. 4 of their 5 defeats in the Premiership have come on the road, and not always at places where you would expect. Blackburn, for instance, have done the double over them this season. Here's J. Lloyd Samuel. Villa, who carved out the only chance of a fairly featureless first half. Gareth Barry's shot from distance, high and wide. Toure. Ljungberg, it'll fall nicely for Henry. It's sat up! And he finds the top of the net, which in fact is the only part of the net that Arsenal have managed to locate at all this afternoon. But it is a more promising start to the second period. Bergkamp, Henry's wandering all over the pitch in search of the ball, or at least in search of the ball in a dangerous position. Gilberto has earned a free kick, given against Lee Hendry. Enkelman is all too aware of the possibilities, albeit from a free kick a good 35 yards out. Wall of only 3. Strike is by Bergkamp, and the middle brick blocked it. Parler. Defender got in the goalkeeper's way. The clearance is by Hitzelsberger. It was Patrick Vieira who came closest to scoring for Arsenal in the midst of it all. Hitzelsberger. Foul given against Gilberto. It was an awkward moment for Enkelman. Found himself balked by his own player, Ronnie Johnson. Bergkamp. Now Henry. Ljungberg off balance, off target. It's a bad miss by Freddie Ljungberg. 14 matches since he last scored. By his standards, a very long time. Maybe just a bit too much weight on Henry's pass. Yes, he had to stretch. But even so, the best opportunity in a game of very few. Parler. Lauren. Bergkamp, good run by Gilberto. Could be in here, Gilberto. Enkelman made the save, and it's tucked in by Ljungberg. It's taken 56 minutes to break through. Gilberto, who still hasn't scored a Premiership goal, made it. Ljungberg has got his first since mid-November, and the champions are in front at Villa Park. Enkelman might have done better. Ljungberg only a couple of yards out. Arsenal lead. Bergkamp. Arsenal's goal capping a bright start to this second half. Here's Henry. Parler. Corner. And we shouldn't forget the role played by Dennis Bergkamp in the build-up to the goal. A super pass to free Gilberto. Henry with this. Fooled the entire Villa defence, slow to react. Parler pushed away again by the goalkeeper Enkelman. And this time he got lucky. He's not been asked to do much this afternoon. Fluffed his lines the first time he was centre stage. Edwards. Hadji now playing right side of midfield. Albeck partnering Darius Vassell. And this is Vassell. Came off the shin of Sigurd. Hitzelsberger hit it, and Taylor made a good save. Thomas Hitzelsberger, who's 21 today, scored with a scorcher at Highbury. And it needed the tip over from young Stuart Taylor. And the near goal scorer becomes corner taker. Melberg appeals for handball. Jonsson! Only another corner. But Villa were appealing for a handball. There were some brave clearances in there. Villa seeking this equaliser. Hitzelsberger. Jonsson went in for it. Albeck! It's in! It's 1-1. There haven't been too many moments of animation at Villa Park this season, but Marcus Albeck has just created one. Sigon might have cleared. I think that's an own goal, you know. Kolo Touré. Albeck wheeled away in celebration, but it was the slice from Touré that finally beat Stuart Taylor. Two horrible pieces of defending, first by Sigon, then by Touré. It's 1-1. Blocked by Samuel. Vieira shouldn't have been allowed to get this far, goes down. Goal kick. Just for a moment, J. Lloyd Samuel's tackle looked a little awkward. Well, he didn't touch the ball. Sylvain Wiltor. Vieira leading the midfield breakout. It's a precise pass to Francis Jeffers. Villa struggling to get back. Henry in the middle. Here's Vieira. Brave stop by Leonardson. "90 seconds for Arsenal to dig out a winner. 90 seconds in which to re-establish daylight at the top of the Barclaycard Premiership table. Francis Jeffers. 1 point will satisfy Aston Villa much more than Arsenal. Melberg needs to be careful, so too does Jonsson. It's not out of the danger area. Henry. And it's whacked anywhere by Aston Villa. Anywhere is downfield. Comes off Campbell's forehead, and they have a throw, and Arsene Wenger is furious on the touchline, complaining that there should have been a free kick for Arsenal. '94th minute and counting. Maybe time for one more attack, but maybe not. It's a day when Arsenal came expecting to win. It's a game they really needed to win, but they're having to hold on now. This is Darius Vassell. How great is Villa's ambition? Does he stay in the corner? Well, he's won another throw. And we've now had nearly 4 extra minutes. Villa seem content with a point. This is Vassell. Well, it's fancy footwork. They do actually have 4 men up inside the Arsenal penalty area. It'd be nice to think that their ambition extended to getting a cross in there. Samuel. It's all over at Villa Park, and it's turned into a very good day for Manchester United as Arsenal are held. They did score both goals, but one was an own goal. It's a useful and deserved point for Aston Villa, but the title rivals are level on points now, and they meet at Highbury in 11 days' time. Aston Villa 1, Arsenal 1.
I'm not disappointed by the attitude of the players. They were fantastic. But the boys are very disappointed because they feel badly done today. And I think as well that it's not always to us to make the spectacle. It's for us to take the points. And today we did what we could to take the points. And I think overall we were very unlucky because Villa didn't deserve anything today.
Arsene Wenger has expressed disappointment that Villa weren't more adventurous. Now, I suppose he would, but what's your response to that?
Yeah, and they catch us on the break. They're the best. Come on, Aston, he knows that as well as I do. They're the best side in the country. If you lose the ball on the edge of their penalty box, 3 seconds later it's in the back of your net. Yeah, let's go out and play and lose 4-0.
6 games to go. You're ahead only on goal difference. Is it really great or is it worrying?
No, it's not worrying. I mean, we are leading the table, so we have Man United at home, and that feels pretty good. But of course, we probably would prefer to lead with a couple of points, but we're still leading it, and 6 games to go, and probably the fans and everyone is pretty happy.
So is Manchester United's visit to Highbury 11 days from now a title decider, or is that too simplistic?
It's too early. I think it will not be a title decider with the points you have now. They have a difficult schedule after that, and we have one as well. But of course, we want to beat them at Highbury.
Sir Alec Ferguson calls it squeeze your bum time. What would you call it?
I think exciting time for us.
Yes, that's better. Graham Taylor explained his tactics very well there, and they worked clearly for him to play defensively, but Arsenal didn't really sparkle today.
No, they didn't. Villa got a lot of bodies behind the ball, Des, frustrated Arsenal for long periods, certainly in the first half. The free-flowing football that we've seen so often this season just wasn't there. That's normally Ashley Cole in a left-back position. Today it was Toure. Ashley Cole would have gone outside. Toure had to come back infield. Again, going all the way across the field. And Villa found themselves, yes, having to defend, but in numbers, and Arsenal not really getting in behind them. No space to get in behind them. You see here, Ray Parlour eventually comes back out to Lauren, who crosses it into a ruck of claret and blue shirts, and they get it away. And that's largely what happened in the first half. Second half, Arsenal definitely started brighter. Henry was very subdued today, manages to find Ljungberg with a great ball, just slightly too hard there. Freddie can't convert it, but a few minutes later, he does get himself on the sheet. Gilberto runs beyond a static Villa midfield. Bergkamp, exquisite through ball. Now, on the right-hand side of the screen, look at De La Cruz and Ljungberg. The Villa defender is clearly favourite here. He's goal side. If the goalkeeper parries it, he should be there to mop it up. But he ball watches for a vital second, and Ljungberg nips in behind him and sticks it in the back of the net. And from then on, I thought Arsenal were going to go and win the game.
And then Villa did have a little go themselves in the second half, and then they got that extraordinary piece of help.
Well, they did. They don't create that many chances, Villa, but to their credit, against the champions, they kept going. And they just had a little spell where you just sensed something might happen. Hitzelsberger, Tess Taylor, brilliant strike that was, superbly tipped over. He really pings this. But they just had a little spell halfway through this second half where you just felt, yeah, Arsenal were going to be tested here. Lots of corners coming in. From set pieces, Arsenal bring everybody back. That does surprise me slightly. You'd think they'd leave perhaps someone up front just to keep a couple of Villa shirts out of the box. But a lot of bodies there, too many cooks if you ask me, Des, because no one really deals with it. You'll see Toure eventually slamming it in his own net. You'll see from this angle, if Lauren just gives him a shout, he can deal with it himself. Look behind him. But a lot of Arsenal shirts back there, and no one really dealing with it, and it ends up in the back of the net.
Arsenal top on goal difference.
Yeah.
How do you see it now?
I think United have the impetus right now, but they have the tougher fixtures. I mean, United have some really tough fixtures coming up, but they are really bombing right now. Arsenal just aren't quite as convincing as they would like to be, but they're still sitting on top right now.
I'll tell you something else, that's a big game at St James's Park, don't worry about that.
Just a bit.
Can't rule Newcastle out.
They're not out of it, are they?
No, far from it.
No.
I would think just at the moment Arsenal probably still favourites having the home game against Man United.
If Newcastle win the title, Bobby will go until he's 95.
Arsene, it's a vital 4 days for Arsenal, the FA Cup semi-final and then obviously the Manchester United game on Wednesday. Can you prioritise between the two as to which is the more important?
Yeah, of course. The more important is the next one. And I think of course, the games are linked, but it is very important. The FA Cup is very important for us because we have been in the final 2 years ago, we have been in the final last season. And we want to get in there again. And we did fight very hard. We put a lot of effort in. We won at Man United, we won at Chelsea, and we are now in the semi-final, just 90 minutes away from a final. And of course, we will give everything we have to get into the final.
Now, with the Manchester United game coming up just 3 days later, can we expect you to rotate your team and your players?
Rotate? No. I just will maybe take into considerations the fact that we played 3 days later, like I would do it in any game. But rotation, no, we have a very, very strong team out.
There's obviously a lot of interest in when David Seaman is going to play his 1,000th game. Can we expect him to play that in one of these?
Well, there is a chance. I have not made up my mind completely. I will make a decision just before the game. But he is fit and available. That's all I can say.
And what about Martin Keown?
Fit and available.
Just looking at the Sunday game, Arsene, how much do you know about Sheffield United? Because you played them in the Cup 5 years ago and a strange thing happened.
We got the Fair Play Award for that.
Steve Bruce looks as though he wants to call his players off, but it's only a convention that you give the ball back, and I don't see what the referee can do here.
If there is a problem, we will play the game without any problem because we feel that the goal we have scored is not right. Since then, I didn't see them a lot, apart from this season, where I saw them a lot on TV, especially in the cup games. I saw them against Leeds, I saw them against Liverpool, and to me it is a very good sign.
You've obviously got to take that match first, I appreciate that, but when you look ahead to Wednesday, people are calling this the title decider. Do you see it that way?
No. It is a big game, but it's not a title decider. But of course the team who will win this game will have a big advantage, but still there's 5 games to go and very difficult games for both teams. I look at the schedule of Man United there, it's a difficult one. And we have as well, so, and at the moment I would say it will be a big psychological advantage for the team who wins, but it will not be a title decider.
Now Manchester United will have played Real Madrid, they'll have played Newcastle, they'll be looking ahead to Real Madrid a second time. Do you think that their current campaign is more difficult than yours?
Well, yes, because they have more games, and that's always more difficult to cope with. But the price to pay to be in the Champions League is the fact that you play more games and big games, and that the mental involvement is of course very big every time. But you never know before.
How much of a personal disappointment was it to you to go out of the Champions League?
It was a personal disappointment, but you see, at the end of the day, I think we have so much to play for, and what we can achieve is so great, and has never been done in English football. That of course we were more excited with what is in front of us. And the Champions League, at the end of the day, you will only keep one team in your mind: is the team who wins it.
Well, what's in front of you is the possibility of what people are calling the double-double 2 years running. It's not been done before in this country. How much of an ambition would that be for you and Arsenal?
It would be fantastic, and we want, of course, to achieve that. And you know how difficult it is to do it in England. If just look in the cup games, the kind of teams we have played in the last 2 seasons shows you how difficult it is. And that's a unique opportunity we want to take. But it's all in front of us, and that's why we want to achieve it.
Bright team, I'll have to call you that because we're going to get confusing over the marks today. How do you consider that Arsene Wenger will approach these next 2 vital games? Because the FA Cup, of course, it's important. Then next Wednesday, it's vitally important. How do you think he'll go about it in terms of team selection?
Well, you just saw there, he said he won't rotate. But, you know, we've seen times when he's played, you know, Jeffers in front of Henry, and I think that's a big boost for Franny Jeffers, and he's always come up trumps for them. But they've got the squad now, and I think he said he's going to play his strongest team. I just think the game, obviously, the FA Cup means a lot to them because they can, I think it's going to be a tough game against Sheffield United, but everyone thinks they can get past Sheffield United. But then the Championship, and going out of the Champions League is a blow, no matter what they say, is a blow, because they look at Manchester United and think they can still win the Champions League and possibly win the league. So they want to obviously put Manchester United, and they went to Old Trafford last year and clinched the title there. So they're both big games, and both games he'll want to win, and they need to win.
Fit and available, Martin Keown. So
plays
in the side, surely.
Got to play. Got to play. They miss him terribly, not only for his defensive qualities but his organisation as well. And it's a classic case. You look around the dressing room before the big games, and you want your big game players in there. And you look at Keown, you think he's not going to take any prisoners against Sheffield United. We want to play him.
Isn't it tempting to go with what he considers his best team for these 2 games? Because win these 2 games, and that is a huge advantage.
But you never know, someone could get injured tomorrow, Ray.
Yeah.
Someone could get injured tomorrow, and then that has to change your lineup for the midweek game.
But given the choice?
Given the choice, obviously you do, because you need to just get that. It's psychological.
And also, people want games. You know, if you were Keown, you're going to play Manchester United on Wednesday, you'd want to play tomorrow as well, because you'd want a game. Seaman the same. And you want this stage of the season, if you can get your best team, utopia. Games in itself is a fantastic achievement, Ray. And for me, he's still England's #1 goalkeeper, as well as David James played against the Turks a couple of weeks ago.
Hair's getting longer there.
Well, yeah,
That's when it starts to get a little bit longer.
It's supposed to go the other way as you got older.
Yeah.
But,
No grey there, though. That's the important thing.
Yeah. But he's been an outstanding goalkeeper. Still #1 for England.
And still is. And
Yeah.
still is. There's no question for me. Ultimate professional. I found him really, really hard, you know, to be imposing, big, very calm.
The 4th or 5th player to actually do that. And as we said about Keown before, you know, look, team sheet tomorrow, you see the name up, you think, well, we're going to be all right today.